G'day, Big V. We are with our Youth League 1 men here today, and we're going to discuss the Youth League grading process because it is massive as it comes into 24, the first time it's really ever been done. Now, it's super important, isn't it, Mark, how we finish this season?
Yeah, it's interesting looking at all the ladders. We've got not only teams pushing to make their finals, so in Youth League 1, our top six, but we've also got down the bottom of the ladder, they're trying to escape that bottom four. So look at the Youth League 1 ladder, you look at it's a pretty clean split between the sort of the top 7 teams and the bottom 5 teams at this point, with Bulleen sort of looking to come up into that top 6 to join, the Humes, Wyndhams, Sherbrooks, Geelongs, Camberwells, and Keysboroughs. Then you look at the other end, and there's some teams who will be absolutely aiming to get themselves out of that bottom 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's touch on the top. We'll touch on the top 6 because the top 6 make finals in our Youth League 1. When we reach the semi-finals, that dictates our 4 going into this Youth League grading process.
Exactly.
Now, top 6 dictates, that means currently, if this is the standing ladder, we have Hume and Wyndham who have the week off, so they'll make that grading process no matter what. But Sherbrooke United, Geelong United, Camberwell, Keysborough, that 3 to 6, that's win or go home. So we could potentially see a 5 and 6 Camberwell Keysborough move up into that grading process.
Yeah, and I think we look at the results from last year. It shows good reason from those week 1 of finals, because I believe it might have been Sherbrooke who came from 6th, jumped up, ending up in the top 4, and look how they're going again this year. So, it's a really good opportunity for these teams to not only play for finals, but then playing for that top 4, and then they've got that added pressure to try and hopefully make that grand final. So these games just mean so much, Ted.
Yeah, absolutely. We discussed it briefly in our Youth League, VYC Men podcast, so you can jump on there and have a listen if you'd like. But when we discussed this grading process, there's players and teams here that could be quite different moving into the next year.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a lot of kids or players in these teams who are aging out, which that makes them ineligible. So that's the 2000 born players. They won't be eligible to play in the 2024 competition. So the teams will change a fair bit. Obviously, you got the new blood coming through as well. But yeah, hypothetically, let's have a look at who. Let's theoretically put it as Hume, Wyndham, Sherbrooke, and Geelong as the ladder stands. Who would they be facing, Ted?
Yeah, let's do it. So Hume are currently number 1. They would come up against Ballarat. They would play in a second chance opportunity game. Wyndham versus Keilor again would be another second chance game. You win, you go immediately in. You lose, you have that extra opportunity. Sherbrooke, who are currently sitting 3rd, they would play against Blackburn, and then Geelong United finishing 4th would verse McKinnon those last 2 games. You win, you got that second chance. You lose, you remain in Youth League 1.
Yeah, so effectively those lower ranked teams have to win 2 games in order to get to that VYC level, which is the challenge at hand. And then whilst the top ranked teams, you do get that second chance. You've got to win 1 of the games out of the 2, and you get to make the jump, which is exciting.
Absolutely. Now let's move to the lower end, because we have Craigieburn, who are currently sitting 9th. They would effectively place against Sunbury, who are sitting 1st in Youth League 2 men. Collingwood sitting 10th would verse a Melbourne University sitting 2nd. Again, they would have that second chance opportunity. Thoughts on those, Mark? That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I love the local Collingwood versus Melbourne Uni matchup.
Yeah.
I know there's Jackson Bennett is one who moved across from Collingwood to the local Melbourne University team. So how exciting seeing 2 local rivals, or new local rivals, go head to head, as well as the Craigieburn Sunbury game. I think that'd be really exciting. Craigieburn probably been sitting down in that lower end of the Youth League 1 for a while now, going through probably what we'd call a rebuild phase, going against Owen Stevens' Sunbury team, who's absolutely scoring at will down in Youth League 2.
Yep.
That would just make for a really exciting clash.
Absolutely. Then we have Coburg, who are sitting 11th, would come up against Mornington. Altona, who are sitting 12th at the bottom of the ladder there, were coming up against a 3rd place Whittlesea.
Yeah, 2 very... Coburg and Altona both featured in finals last year.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they finished second. Altona finished second, and Coburg finished, I believe, third or fourth.
Mm.
Now, this shows why the qualification days are so important, because realistically, let's say a second place Altona went and won, then had a whole new different roster. It would have been interesting, them jumping up. But the qualification day has them at the moment down the bottom. Them against Whittlesea, Ethan Bateman and the boys. That would be an absolute cracking matchup.
Ferocious.
While the new look Coburg team going head to head against a young, fairly young Mornington side, that would be some pretty exciting basketball.
Yeah, Matthew Wolf.
Wolfie, our boy Wolfie.
He's coming back.
He'll be howling for a win.
Yes, he would. Look, that'll be all for us today, guys. Keep it locked. We'll speak to you soon.